So in front of me, you see a copy of my title block. You will personalize your own title block with the title of the drawing that you're working on, your own name and your own date, and your own scale statement depending on the size of your image. Now, before we start this orthographic drawing, I want to highlight a few things that are going to be important. First off, we want to create multiple layers in this drawing. Your title block was done on the default layer, and if you pull down from this menu here, you can see all of the layers that are currently in your drawing. And your drawing should be similar to mine with just the default layer. We are going to add a layer right away, so I'm going to click on my layer properties, and I'm going to click on the new layer button, and I'm going to call this new layer object, because this is the layer I'm going to draw the visible parts of my object on. And I want the line type to be continuous, as it shows here, and I want the color to stay white. So I'll leave those settings the way they are. I'll close my layer control box. Now, to get started with this drawing, we're going to be drawing a H block, which is block number 2. So I'm going to utilize the polyline feature. So I'm going to choose polyline. Now, before I get started, you'll notice as I move my cursor around the screen, it snaps to the grid that's visible on my screen. That is something we want to have turned on. To turn that off, you would simply come down here to your model main bar and turn off snap mode. But for now, we want to make sure it's on. So click that so it is highlighted in blue. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to start just clicking and placing corner points where I want the corner points to be for my front view of my H block. Now notice I'm not measuring anything. I'm just simply drawing it so it looks the way your H block looks. And using the snap feature makes it quite easy. And I'll click at the end to finish and hit enter. And there I have my front view of my H block. Now, before I go any further, I need to start running some projection lines from one view to the other. So in this case, I want to run projection lines from my front view up to my top view, because my top view is going to be the same width as my front view. So my projection lines are going to be a different color and a different style of line. So in order to make that happen, I need to go back to my layer properties control box. I want to add another layer. I'm going to call this one projection. I am going to change the color of this one to red so that it's different than the white object layer we have. So I will choose red, say OK. And I don't want the line to be continuous because I want it to be different. When I print these drawings, different colors don't show up very well, obviously, in a black and white printer. So I will click on line type continuous on that projection layer. And if I want to load different lines into this model, you need to click on the load tab. And I would like you to scroll down until you come across -2. Your line should look like this, and then say OK. Now I've already loaded that, and here it is here. So I'm going to choose that line type for this layer. And I will click on that, and you'll see now that my projection layer is red, and I have a dotted line. So that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and close that now. So now I can pull down from my layer control, and you'll see that I can choose the projection layer. And I'm going to click on a new line. And because my object or my snap to grid is still turned on, you'll see that when I draw lines now, they are red and they are dotted or dashed. So I'm going to continue to do that, running projection lines from all of the visible features on the top of my H block. And I hit enter every time I want to finish a line. If you don't hit enter and just hit escape or right click, you're going to have your line disappear on you. So enter sets your command. And I'm also going to draw one more from down here. And even though this feature is not going to be visible in my top view, you'll understand why I'm drawing that in just a second. So now to continue on with my object, I'm going to go back to my object layer, and I'm going to choose my rectangle, and I'm going to draw in my top view like so.